welcome to Houston Real Estate Radio this Sunday afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed your spring break vacation. I know most of the kids in our area have had a spring break. We've got some other schools that have different spring breaks, but I know up here in the north side, we've had a lot of spring breakers this week. This segment is being sponsored by The Perfect Light. They are a landscape lighting company, and you can find them at theperfectlight.com. They do a lot of outdoor landscaping. If you've got a pool in your backyard, a lot of nice landscaping, they can really light it up and make it look really good for you. Of course, they do Christmas lights when it's that time of year, and they also do mosquito misting. So if you're having any kind of outdoor event, they're a great place to call. Theperfectlight.com. We've had a lot of people call in wanting that buyer's guide that James and I have been giving away. And if you would like a copy of that, you can call us 281-882-8088. And we'll send you a copy of that buyer's guide. If you're thinking about buying in the next year, it's a great book that's put out by the National Association of Realtors. Lots of great information. You definitely want to get that. And you can also call in your real estate questions for James and I to answer. That number again is 281-882-8088. Today we're going to hear some great information. We've got David Jarvis here from Metrostudy to give us some great updates on what's going on, and I hope you'll stay tuned later in the show. We are going to find out whether you will make a good landlord or not. We're going to have a great segment on tenant-landlord relationships and how to handle some of the situations that come up. And if you're thinking about being a landlord and want to know if you'll make a good landlord, you definitely want to stay tuned for that. All right, so James, you ready to get started?
Sure. How are you?
I'm good. We've got David Jarvis right here in the studio with us. He's with Metrostudy. He's the director of Metrostudy, and Metrostudy is the leading provider of primary and secondary market information to the housing industry and related industries nationwide. So as realtors for James and I, this is really great information that we can pass on to consumers. So we think that this will be great information for you as well. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Morning, Shannon. Morning, James.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful.
So tell us how Houston compares right now to the rest of the country.
We're in the middle of a home building boom.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just kind of amazing. Houston still ranks as the most active new home market in the country. Starts were up almost 30% last year, and that's going to be hard to match this year because we've just about run out of lots to build on.
Yeah, we were having problems with lots in the past, and it's gotten worse, or has it stayed pretty much the same?
It actually has gotten worse. We didn't develop any lots during the recession. We just stopped. We didn't need any.
Right.
But there's been an enormous resurgence of home buying and housing starts, and with that, we're chewing up our lot inventory. We are only developing about half as many lots as we're eating up in the marketplace.
Now, are those lots in master plan communities, or are they spread out throughout the city, or what are builders having to do now to find places to build on?
Builders are having to buy land and develop for their own consumption. Houston has been controlled by the master plan communities for a long, long time and been a wonderful place for builders to get in and dig in and build homes for 20 years. But now a lot of those master plan communities are building out, and they're having to go out and acquire their own land and go through the entitlement process just to have lots to build on. And we call that a defensive nature of developing land.
Mm-hmm. If someone is looking at moving into a master plan community, which are the ones that you recommend right now? What are the hottest areas right now?
Well, you better hurry. A lot of the master plans communities are building out. The Woodlands is down to about 1,500 lots, and that's hard to believe. But not a whole lot of life left in the Woodlands. So if you want a new home, you have to hurry. As we come around, Kingwood is just about built out as well. Telfair down the southwest part of town.
I know I was in Sienna Ranch over the weekend, and they were telling me that Taylor Morrison came in with cash during the recession and bought up all the available lots. So all the builders that were out there are just closing out what they have left, and they've got nothing to build. So I guess Taylor Morrison will be the new builder for that community.
Yeah, they will. Now, Johnson does have a few more lots to go, but they'll be out of development there in about 2 years. So I guess the point is, if I want to live in one of these favorite master plan communities, you really don't have a whole lot of time left.
Yeah. Are they developing any new master plan communities throughout the city?
Probably the most prominent would be Bridgeland on the northwest side of town.
Oh, yeah.
Up here where we are today, that would be Wood Forest.
Bridgeland and Town Lake out in Cypress, right?
Yeah, exactly. Both nice communities. And then Harmony is a new community that's kind of a resurgence of a previous community that Johnson has picked up. And I think that's going to be a real nice community as they bring it back to life.
And where's that at?
That is just down Riley Fuzzle, just on the east side of, I guess, the Hardy Toll Road.
I actually have a client right now that wants to purchase land in the Spring area, just some acreage to sit on. And, the problem is there isn't land available just to purchase like that. Either you're buying a lot in a neighborhood and it's not going to be a very good lot, or it's gone commercial. It's mostly commercial properties.
Is your client looking for an investment opportunity, or they
Correct.
want to buy a lot? An investment opportunity. Wow, that is really going to be difficult.
It's very hard to find. Very hard to find in this area. Yeah, so it's an interesting market. I mean, most people, when I tell people that, like, what do you mean you can't find any lots? There's got to be a lot of lots up there available. So tell us about some of the areas that are of the country that are still lagging behind. Any in particular that are lagging? I know when the first ones that come to mind for a lot of people are, Florida, the Miami markets were behind, and of course California and, Arizona. What do you think? Those are all kind of kicking back again.
Yeah, they are. Arizona, California, Nevada, Florida, those were the hardest hit states. Those were the states that not only had subprime financing, but they had subprime refinancing. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but in those states where they have different kinds of laws that we have in Texas, here when we go out to refinance a home, we have to keep 20% equity. So we always have skin in the game, and that kept a lot of people from getting into trouble. But in these other states where you could borrow 100% of appraised value at the top of the market, and then home prices fell 30-40%, there was an inordinate number of people who were suddenly underwater, and that caused tremendous problems in the foreclosure markets.
Right.
Those are beginning to firm up because we finally have burned off the inventory of those foreclosures, resale, new homes. All of that is just about gone away. So we're seeing big increases in prices in some of those hardest hit markets around the country.
In the Houston area, do we have any foreclosures left? I know, there are some people who don't realize they're behind the times, and they still want to buy those foreclosure investment properties. And there are some out there, but not a whole lot. What would you say to those investors?
I think the days of buying blocks of foreclosed homes are pretty much behind us. We're back to postings and foreclosures that are pre-recessionary norms. I mean, there's going to be some amount of a foreclosure.
You're always going to have a few.
Yeah. But we don't have those blocks of homes coming through that the investors had picked up and put into the rental pool.
Okay.
There's still some bargains in ones and twos, but you're right. I mean, we're looking at Katy, for example. I have an investor looking there, and the number of foreclosures when he started looking compared to what he's picking from today is like minuscule compared to what it was, 3 years ago. So that is happening. I also noticed that the one of your charts in the book there was talking about home prices, and it looks opposite of another chart that I saw in another book of foreclosures. So as those foreclosures are going down and peaking out or bottoming out, the home prices are going up. So I think that's an interesting correlation.
Yeah, it is. We're back to making money in real estate again. We lost about 5% of our value on our resales through the recession, but we've made that back now. So we're back to pre-recessionary highs in terms of our values and ever stronger sales and a lack of supply. We have less than a 4-month supply of listings on the market, and I'm real curious where are the listings? Where are the people who would like to move? And recently, in preparation for this, interviewed some brokers down in Fort Bend County, and they said that now when they go out on a listing call, a lot of times the would-be seller has looked around just enough to know that there's not much to choose from. So what they want is they want the broker to find them a home first, and then I'll sell my home.
Then we'll sell the house.
Yeah, we are seeing more and more of that because they're afraid they can't find what they want. And then they don't want to get stuck living in an apartment for 2 years while they wait to find what they want, because it's not like you can just go out and build it. Like you said, we're running out of inventory lots to build on in these master plan communities. So.
And the homes are selling fast, and if you don't have one lined up, then you're back with your in-laws or you're back with someone else until you are renting an apartment until you can find a place.
And we're seeing some houses, with multiple offers, and so just because you put an offer in on it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Boy, one of the guys in our office went through that. They had their second baby, and they put their home on the market. It sold in 1 week. He wasn't ready for that. He rushed out. Of course, he's a contingency, right? Because the home hasn't closed yet.
Right.
So first offer, now you're a contingency, get out of line. Second home, same thing, get out of line. Now he's just about to go to closing. He's trying to beg the buyer to take his contract. Somebody's putting a huge amount of cash down. Now get out of line. It was the fourth home after he had closed his home before he could even buy one.
Yeah.
It was a scary story.
And then he's still going to have to wait the 45 or however many days it takes to close.
Yeah, that's not a quick proposition.
So we're definitely in a seller's market. Do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I still hear some consumers in some areas saying, that they just don't believe it. They just don't believe it's a seller's market. And the reason is because their neighborhood prices aren't rising yet. So what do you say to those consumers? Because there are those pockets, even here in the Houston area, where their housing prices are not going up just yet.
I would say hold on. There are some pockets of homes that were built on the backs of subprime loans. Nothing down, no qualifying, and those neighborhoods got into trouble. There were high foreclosures, people getting into homes that really couldn't afford to. The market will work its way through those issues. The economy's getting better. We have rising household incomes, and we're seeing more and more people who can get qualified now for an entry-level home. We track that. We're the people who go around and physically count the new home starts, so we know by price where that's occurring. And for the last couple of years, the housing starts by price range has been a story about who can get a mortgage and who cannot. And today we are counseling our clients to not to ignore the entry-level market, because more and more of those people can get a mortgage today.
That's right. I mean, I'm seeing the credit scores drop that will qualify drop as well. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but it is a function of the market, and that's an interesting thing to note. You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Tweet us your questions at Shannon Register or at James Brown TX, or call us at 281-882-8088. We'll be right back with David Jarvis, Director of Metrostudy.